And before I get started, I would like everyone to just close your eyes. I'm trying to send the vibration up so we can absorb the information. Just be with me. Take a deep breath in, close your eyes. Inhale deeply. Let the life force enter your body. On the exhale, let go of all negativity. We're going to repeat this 2 more times. Inhale deeply. Hold. Let go. And the last time, inhale deeply. Hold. And let go. Okay. So I'm going to start by, please come in, join us. Come on in. Like I said, my name is SUDI BURNETT. I've been working most of my life as a personal trainer. A national TV show where I talk about health, fitness, nutrition. And also, the last couple of years, I received a gift to be a healer. I did a few international seminars teaching people the different modalities of healing, how to heal ourselves, our body, and how to heal others. So are we all ready to get started? Yes? Okay. So here's the deal. When we decide to lose weight, usually what happens, we concentrate on a physical body. Okay, we start getting information, what to eat, when to eat, what's the right approach to diet, and then we start exercising. Some of us go a step further. We even hire a personal trainer, and sometimes we achieve our goals and sometimes we don't. A lot of time, you know what our New Year resolutions are, right? We decide to get our fit body back and all that. And what does really New Year resolution tells us? Basically, New Year resolution to me is I am concentrating on what I don't have. Is that correct? Right? So if I'm starting to concentrate on what is it that I don't have, I'm already in lack, right? So let's forget about that. Let's throw away everything that you guys use as a resolution. Just throw everything out the door. So basically, when we want to lose weight, we have to concentrate on 4 levels of our body, right? We have spiritual body, we have emotional body, we have mental body, and we have physical body. So this is like a house with 4 rooms. And come on in, guys. Come on in. Come on in. Hi, hi, hi. We're just going to hold down for a second so everyone can come in. Don't worry, guys. I'm going to repeat this again. Come on in. Sorry. Not a problem, love. I know. We have time. What we have enough of is time. Okay, so I'm backtracking for the new people. I only concentrate on a physical body. And if I concentrate on a mental body, I might achieve my goal, but it's not going to be permanent. In order for my weight loss to be permanent, I need to concentrate on 4 levels of body. So I'm going to give you, number 1, spiritual body. Number 2, emotional body. Number 3, mental body. Number 4, physical body. So I am going to start with spiritual body because to me, that's the main thing. How do I work on a spiritual body? Every morning when I wake up, the first thing I do before I leave my bed, I'm going to make the connection to the universe. I am going to be thankful for everything that already exists in my life. I'm going to concentrate on this breath. The breath is just coming and it's just going. It's on automatic pilot, right? There is nothing I have to do. The blood is circulating throughout my body. The whole system is working. There is an intelligent, conscious universe that's doing it all for us. There is nothing we have to do. If I can only and only be at the state of being and trust. What happens most of the time, we don't trust it. What if I just be and don't do anything? Nothing is going to happen, right? This is what we think. So we need to trust. We need to trust that I can just be, and there is nothing that needs for me to be doing at any time. This is number one. So I put my focus first thing in the morning on whatever exists already in my life. I'm getting the gift of having another day. I'm alive. I can move. I have a job. My body is perfectly working and all that. So that's number one. Okay? What happens is when I make the connection with the universe, what is the message that I'm giving? That I am not alone, right? If I feel that I'm not alone, then I'm not going to go to depression. I feel like I am being taken care of, okay? So when I make the connection, the next step is I'm surrendering. Every morning, guys, when I wake up, I make a connection and I announce that I'm letting go of all control and I'm surrendering. I know you know better. So the minute I let go of all the control and I surrender, I'll get to this state of peace and joy, okay? So we need to let go of all the control. That's the step that I work with spiritual body. Make a connection. If I make a connection daily, everything is just going to be beautiful, everything is going to be peaceful. But when I get disconnected, all the chaos start to show in my life, right? So that's step number one. Step number two is the mental body. That's where all the problem starts, because now we're dealing with our brain. And the brain is the part that is just creating all the chaoses in our lives, right? So in the mental body, we're dealing with the brain. Now, we are dealing with conscious mind, subconscious mind, and superconscious mind, right? So on a conscious level, I'm thinking that, I want to lose weight. This is the process. And I set my goals up. I'm going to be losing 30 pounds in 2 months or whatever, right? Yeah. So this is at my conscious level. But if I go to subconscious level, there is a lot of hidden agenda sitting there. So basically what's going on is while I'm using my conscious mind and setting up some goal, the subconscious is running its own show, okay? That's why when I set up my goals and I start a day and I'm feeling really good and I want to do this, after a couple of hours, I started to crash down and I feel like nothing is working, the self-abuse stuff, you never done anything, and all of that stuff happening. I studied a few years ago. I went to school to learn how to have an out-of-body experience. Anybody here have tried, know about out-of-body experience? One, anybody else? Okay, 4 or 5. All right. So when I learned how to have an out-of-body experience in my project, sometimes I go places. Memories shows up that I'm like, what? I totally forget about that. So all those memories that we've forgotten is just still sitting in the subconscious mind, right? So this is like, for instance, You see an email, you read an email, and you're like, hell with it, you delete it. That email goes to your spam, right? You don't see the email anymore, but that doesn't mean that email is not still there. It's just out of sight. You don't see it, right? So this is what's happening at the mental level. As we grow up, we have a lot of incident events that are happening, and they start to stack up on top of each other. It's just like a mosaic, right? So if we want to deal with that, we have to get deeper within. We have to start scraping these layers one by one till we can really get to the root of the problem. Okay? So this is at the mental level that we have to start to get really deep in. Now, how does the mental body works? Like our brain really works like a satellite dish. Constantly is just picking up energies, vibrations, ideas, picking up stuff, right? And then it just absorb it and try to make sense out of it. In the meantime, we're picking up a lot of thoughts that are just vibrating. They're just in the air. So we pick up these ideas and thoughts and we give them belonging, and we think these are really our thoughts, right? So these are all happening at the mental body. Now, after the mental body absorbs all this information, it's transferring it to the emotional body. Now I'm starting to get a feeling of that translation, right? So I'm feeling good, I'm feeling bad, I'm getting mood swing. All of this thing is happening in the emotional body. So if I decide to have a permanent weight loss, I need to work on the emotional body first before I can get to the physical body. Does that make sense? Yes. Yes? Okay. Because if I don't know that my emotional eating is really coming from my beliefs and for the events that happens in the past, and is not at the conscious level, it's at the subconscious level, then I'm not going to be able to clear all those things and have a clean slate to start. So here, it's just like we are rewinding our movie. This is my life story, and I'm sitting down as an outsider. Because if I'm watching this movie and I'm still acting in it, I can't really see everything that is going on, right? So play back the movie and sit back and watch it as an outsider. And this doesn't happen magically at one time, because we have to do this day after day after day after day. We have to sit down and watch this movie and say, oh, this is why my mother did this. And this event that happened at that time, like for instance, for me, I remember when I was a child, it was constant hearing that my sisters were on a diet. So hearing that as a child, because we grab everything, somehow I associated being slim with having class. These are just things that we pick up and we don't even know where we're picking this stuff up, right? So we have to get to the emotional body. We need to deal with all our issues. We have to spend time, and after we are able to deal with all those issues and clearing them up, then we can get to the physical body, okay? So now I'm going to start with the physical body, how we can achieve that. Basically, we know the concept of calorie input, calorie output. The amount of calorie that I'm taking versus the amount of calories that I'm burning, okay? So if the amount of calorie that I'm taking in is the same amount as the calorie that I'm burning as exercise or any kind of workout or moving around, if it's the same, my weight will stay the same, right? So in order to lose weight, I need to consume less calories and I have to burn more calories through workout, exercise, and moving out, okay? So let's assume that you are taking 2,000 calories per day. and you having 2 meals. You're saying that I'm going to skip breakfast because I want to save on my calories. So I'm having a big, huge lunch because by lunchtime, now my blood sugar start playing around. My blood sugar drops and I'm starving and I'm just going to grab and eat on whatever is in front of my hand. So let's say you have 2 meals that's going to be 1,000 calories each. The way the body works with that is, if your body needs, if you're a female and you need 400 to 500 calories at that time, your body would use and burn that 400 or 500 calories and is going to reserve the other 500 or 600 in your fat cells. Okay? That's why you always read and hear that we should have 4 to 5 small meals per day. Why do we do this? Because if I have a small meals, 300 to 400 calories per meal, my body will just burn that and it doesn't have anything extra to reserve as in my fat cells. Also, if I'm eating throughout the day small meals, my body is just going to be, my blood sugar is going to be leveled up. So I'm not going to have a mood swing. My blood sugar is not going to be going up and down and up and down. So that's why we're having 4 to 5 small meals per day. Now the next concept that you have to know is our body works very funny. Our body always prefers to burn the low fat calories that we're taking as fuel and turn the high fat calorie into the fat cells. So I'm giving you an example. If you have a grilled vegetables with a slice of grilled turkey versus having a Big Mac cheeseburger and fries, the body will prefer to use the grilled vegetables for its fuel and then turn the Big Mac into our fat cells. Okay? That's another concept. So now I want to go through a few allergies that we have. It is very important. These are really good information, I think, to have. One of them is gluten sensitivities. How many people have heard of gluten sensitivities? Okay. So what does gluten, when we're talking about gluten sensitivities, basically what that means is our body doesn't know how to break down a protein that is found in wheat, barley, and rye. So our body is sensitive to it. When I eat whole wheat bread or when I eat whole wheat pasta, because of the gluten in there, my body is sensitive to it. The body starts to act as a virus, okay? So since my body is starting to act as a virus, my immune system starts to go down. My digestive tract is not able to work as well and function. So I'm going to start to get bloated. And I'm starting to feel gas, and my energy start to fluctuate, is going up and down. In today's market, the gluten is going way beyond wheat, barley, and grass. Wheat, barley, and rye. Now we found anything that you buy in the supermarket, whether it is salad dressing, sauces, ice cream, crackers, almost everything is they're using gluten in it. So if you have gluten sensitivity, what you need to do, you have to pretty much cut back on everything. So what's left, basically, you have a choice of purchasing bread from Whole Food Market or Trader Joe's or any Whole Food farmer market that said wheat-free, gluten-free. Wheat-free, gluten-free. And you can also Google for gluten sensitivity. You will get all this information. So in order to lose weight, it's very important to cut back on all the gluten. Second sensitivity we have is toward leptin, hormone leptin. L-I-P-N. Leptin is L-E-P-I-N, leptin, sure. When we eat food, our body releases the hormone leptin. When our body releases the hormone leptins, what happens? Leptin travels to our brain. Bless you. The leptin start traveling to our brain. So in our brain, there is a place, it's just like switch on and off buttons that says I'm full or I'm hungry. Basically what the hormone leptin does is when it travels to our brain, kind of because we become sensitive, it doesn't touch on the switch on that said I am full. Okay, so what happens is you would think that fat people don't have enough leptin. Actually, the more body fat we have, the more leptin our body releases. Okay, but what happens is just like you know how when people are insulin resistant, when our body releases too much leptin and it gets to the brain, the receptors started to dysfunction. So we are not receiving the message anymore that we are full. So we are constantly getting the feeling of we're hungry. We keep eating more and more and more, and we're not getting the message that we're full. So that's something that has everything to do with you having a high metabolism or low metabolism. So that's leptin sensitivity. Other issues that we have is when we purchase any kind of pre-packaged food from the supermarket. As you all may already know, in the US, the food manufacturing using additives in their products. So that's like taking drugs. What these additives does, that is, again, we're getting it in ice cream, we're getting it in chips, cereals, anything that pre-packaged frozen food is kind of giving us addictions. And it works the same way as leptin. When we eat this food and they break down, basically what happens is that after they travel, our body started to send the message to our brain. When it gets to our brain, again, that button of being full or hunger, we're not receiving it. The receptors in our brains are acting like they are death. They're not getting the message that we're full. So we keep on eating more and more and more, and we are still hungry. So what is the solution, we would say, to all this problem? We have to stick to the food that Mother Nature provides us. The same way. So when we are going to the market, or we're going to farmer's market or anywhere that you're going, basically you want to write down your grocery list before you're going. So let's say you're having a full plate. If you cut that plate into half of that your plate should be raw, leafy, green vegetables. Okay, so half of it is going to be salad, like mixed greens. Since we are not purchasing any food manufactured from supermarket, therefore we are making our own salad dressing. Our salad dressing is going to be fresh squeezed lime, lemon, or if you like vinaigrette, with olive oil, a little bit salt and pepper. Okay, it tastes great. If you like, you can also grind the ginger and add the ground ginger into your salad dressing, and it would make it a little more exotic. So this is my half. It's going to be all green, leafy vegetables. Now the other half, I'm going to cut it again into half. Half of that would be grilled vegetable or steamed vegetable. Cauliflower, zucchini, eggplant, anything like that. Green pepper, red pepper, all kind of different kind of peppers or vegetables, green or steamed. The other half is going to be protein. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about amino acids and why it's so important for our body to take enough amino acid. When we eat proteins, any kind of proteins, what are proteins? They're all animal meats, dairies, eggs. These will consider to be proteins. Proteins are amino acids. When they break down, they turn into amino acids. Now, why do we say amino acids are so essential? Because for one, amino acid regulates our blood sugars, okay? So if my blood sugar is not fluctuating up and down all day, I don't get those cravings or feelings of hunger, correct? Okay, so for one, amino acid will regulate my blood sugar. Amino acid would regulate our hormones, release of our hormones. So as you all know, thyroid gland has a very important role in, if my thyroid glands are functioning well, I can eat all I want and I would never gain weight, right? But if I have low thyroid, my thyroid gland is not functioning as fast as it could, I can do everything on the world. I can exercise every day, I can eat healthy, but I would still have problem with losing weight, okay? So amino acid regulates all our hormones. The hormones of anxiety, stress, thyroid glands, adrenal glands, amino acid would regulate all that. Amino acid is most known for building muscles. When we take enough amino acids, our body, and especially if we work out and if we lift weight, our body will build muscles. Okay, when our body is building muscles, I'm burning calories 24 hours, right? Okay, so amino acids will help build our cells, all our cells in the body. Amino acid would help with the production of collagen, and collagen is basically what keeps us youthful, okay? So that's why it's very important, to take enough amino acids in a day, because amino acid, like I said, it helps us build muscle, and even if we don't exercise, it's still gonna keep the muscles that we have. So my metabolism is gonna be up for a longer period of time, okay? So now I'm going back to, like, you read, there are so many different kind of diets out there, and we all get confused. This diet, beach diet, no carb diet, high carb diet, and all of this stuff, and there's a huge confusion of what we should do. Basically, I would say if you guys study or read or search for alternative medicine, because of today's time, we are under so much stress. We don't have a healthy lifestyle that we used to have. The food that we're taking, the air that we're breathing is not as healthy as it used to be. So we're having a lot more complications and problems in it nowadays. So alternative medicine would recommend that we separate our food, separations of food. Okay, so the best way to eat is to eat fruits alone. Do not mix fruit with anything else. And we say preferably eat your citrus fruits together. Eat fruits, melons, watermelons, and other melons alone and together. And other fruits like your cherry, bananas, all of that, other fruits, it can be eaten together. Carbohydrates should be eaten together. So for instance, brown rice, white rice, what else? Beans, soy, vegetables, salads, these are all carbohydrates. So I can make like white rice with soy or mixed beans with all kind of vegetables and salad. I can eat that together. Protein should be eaten only with salads and vegetables. So we cannot mix protein and carbohydrates together, okay? So if we just don't do anything else, just separates the fruits, proteins, and carbohydrates together, you're gonna feel much better and you're gonna lose tremendous weight. Your body, your stomach is not gonna get bloated, your energy is gonna go up, and all of that good stuff. How many people, yes, sir?
What about, like some people put certain spices on their melons, like con chile limon or pico de gallo. Is that in any way not healthy?
To adding spices to what? I'm sorry? To the melons? No, spices you can do. The spices are neutral, so pretty much you can go and put them on anything and you would be fine. Yes, yes, dear.
So you shouldn't go to a restaurant and eat steak and potatoes.
Exactly. Okay, yeah. So you know, at the beginning it seems very hard, but after a while it becomes like automatic. Like when I go out, I know when I look at the menu, I know that I can have my salads with grilled chicken or fish, or if I'm going to have pasta, which I never do, I stay away from carbohydrates, but if I do, then I have like pasta with marinara sauce and salad on the side, right? Don't look at me like that.
Well, I'm confused. So you're saying in one sitting you're just separating, you're not eating like the chicken and the salad together, or you are?
You are. You can have salad and vegetables with your protein. Right? So you can order grilled chicken with grilled vegetables and salads, because you can have salad and vegetables with protein. You cannot mix starch with protein, okay? So you can eat brown rice, you can have brown rice, beans, salads, and grilled vegetables, because those are all carbohydrates. Okay, so but you cannot have rice with chicken, or you can have rice with protein. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay, let me go through this again. What are carbohydrates? Carbohydrates are, we have starchy carbohydrates and we have non-starchy carbohydrates, right? Non-starch would be all sorts of greens, leaves, cucumbers, tomatoes, peppers, these are cauliflowers, these are all non-starchy carbohydrates. Starchy carbohydrate would be rice, whether it's white rice, wild rice, brown rice, pasta, bread, potatoes, sweet potatoes, these are starchy carbohydrates, okay? So proteins, we said, all animal product, whether it's white meat, red meat, seafood, dairies, eggs, these are protein, okay? So when I'm having protein, I cannot mix my proteins with starchy carbohydrates. I can have my proteins with any kind of grilled vegetables or salad. Is that clear now? Okay. So how many people have heard of eat for your blood type? 1, 2, 3. Okay. So let me just explain that very quickly what it is. According to our blood type, whether I'm A blood type, O blood type, B or AB, we all have some food allergy. We call them hidden food allergy. Why are they hidden? Because, for instance, I am a blood type B, and my allergy is with chicken. What else? Lentils. So I can eat year after year after year. I can eat chicken and I can eat lentils, but because the allergy is not like automatic. You know, some allergies, like some people are allergic to, for instance, lobster or peanut. The minute you eat them, your face started to, you know, get red, and so those are allergies that they show themselves quickly. Hidden allergies are because we can hear them year after year. It's not like suddenly showing up or creating any problem, so we don't really see that there is a problem, okay? So what happened is, like for instance, I can eat grilled chicken in the morning. Few hours later, my stomach started to get bloated, and I wonder what happened. You know, I just had a grilled chicken, and because it's a hidden allergy. So I'm going to go through it very basically. For instance, A blood types, A blood type cannot digest proteins from animals, okay? What does that mean? That means my body, if I'm an A blood type, doesn't produce enough enzymes to break down the protein, okay? So as a result, A blood types are better to be vegetarian, to eat more raw foods, and if they want to eat like proteins or animal dairies, no more than 3 to 4 times per week, okay? If I am an O blood type, usually O blood type are more anxious, they have more anxiety, ADD, OCD, all of this thing comes with blood type O because they are more sensitive. This food sensitivity for blood type O is wheat, barley, rye, and dairy, okay? I had a couple of people who start working with me, training with me to lose weight. So when I see client, I just go through the whole list, like what's going on, this, that. So when the girl started with me, she was like 22, young girl. She wasn't like very heavy, but she was like, I'm going to gym religiously, working out 7 days a week, and I'm also watching my diet like crazy. I said, what do you eat? I totally cut back on my carbohydrate. I'm just eating protein with salad and vegetable. So you would think if somebody is working religiously, having a trainer, working out 2 hours a week, 2 hours a day, 7 days a week, watching the diet, they should not have any problem with their weight, right? So what I find out was that she was an O blood type, and she said once in a while she would sneak out and have a slice of bread. She said, my treat is to have a slice of bread. Can you imagine just a slice of whole wheat bread for a blood type O who's allergic to it can create a problem and get her stuck from losing weight? So basically blood type O, their food allergy is wheat, barley, rye, gluten, and dairy. And then I find out that she also has problem with her thyroids. Now we're having a major problem with thyroids because when you go and you get your exam for thyroids, most of the time they tell you your thyroid glands are working perfectly and there is no problem there. Because the people who are reading your exam, they're not going through truly looking at everything that they should be looking. So they tell you that you don't have any problem. But once I started to put her on just like herbal thyroid pills, after 3 months, she started to lose her weight. Now I'm going to go to another major problem that's going to stop us from losing weight, and that's stress and anxiety. What happens when we're under stress? Basically, you know, our brain the chemical imbalance will start in the brain. Okay, so you all have heard of adrenal gland that is released with too much stress, and also cortisol. So when I'm under stress and anxiety, my body will release cortisol. Cortisol acts like poison. So basically my body, with too much release of cortisol, my body will start to feel like it's being toxic, okay? So something else that cortisol does, when there is too much release of cortisol, my body will also start to release a huge amount of insulin. Okay, so when my body is releasing too much insulin, what happens is my body started to deposit the food that I'm eating into my fat cell instead of burning it as fuel. And as a result of release of too much cortisol, next thing that happens, I become insulin resistant. Okay? So we really have to watch out to do something that will get us out of this problem. Also, stress will make us not only to gain weight, but also makes our body acidic. So what happens when my body becomes acidic? As you know, the pH balance of our body should be slightly more alkaline and slightly less acidic. When we are under stress, obviously we don't sleep well at night. So when I don't sleep good at night, what happens? My hormones started to lose their balance. I become more prone to having mood swings throughout the day. Okay? So as a result of all of this good stuff that's happening with the stress, my body becomes acidic. When my body becomes more acidic, I start to have more cravings for sugar and carbohydrates and chocolates. And also my body started to become bloated and I get water retention. Okay? So a lot of time when I see a client that they look heavy, most of it is water retention. And that water retention comes from the body to be acidic. Okay? So what do we do to get rid of the extra acid in our body? First, we have to work with the root problem of it, which is the stress. What helps the stress is doing daily meditation and daily exercise, right? That will help me out with my stress. Prayer, all of that good stuff. But going back to getting rid of the extra acid in the body, what makes my body acidic? All carbohydrates. All carbohydrates, when they break down, they turn into glucose. Okay? So glucose will also make my body acidic. Proteins also, we said, when proteins break down, they turn into amino acid. Protein makes our body acidic too. That's why we say protein ash. So what's left? Greens. Number one thing that makes our body really alkaline is all kind of sprouts. Wheatgrass, barley grass, any kind of grasses, leafy greens, spinach, kale, and all of green, also spirulina, will make our body more alkaline. So what you do when you get up in the morning, first thing in the morning, you can make a juice with sprout. If you will have like 1 or 2 even small glasses of wheatgrass or barley grass, like the juice, it will balance the pH in your body. If you don't do it, it's hard to do juicing. You can purchase the powder. Wheatgrass, barley grass, spirulina, when you purchase those, healthy greens, they have a lot of greens in it. And also they add spirulina, they add broccoli, kale, and all of that. So you can have 1 or 2 tablespoons of the green powder with 2 glasses of water. If you guys wait for an hour or 2, you will see most of your hunger will go away. So, bless you. So I give you a solution. Just get a gallon of water and add like 5 to 6 tablespoons of the wheatgrass powder in it and take it with you. When you're sitting in the car, when you're driving, when you're going to work, anywhere that you're going, when that's the only thing you have, you would drink it, and most of the time they don't taste bad. So we have to make our body alkaline in order to get rid of the water retention, bloating stomach. Also, when the environment is acidic, it creates the perfect environment for any kind of diseases and illnesses. So arthritis pain, any kind of pain or ache or cavities in our tooth, all of these problems are creating because the environment is acidic. So if you want to lose weight, you have to make the body alkaline, stay away from carbohydrates, and make your protein in a very small portion. Also, if you guys are taking amino acid, protein powder or amino acid, that would really, you don't really even need to take any kind of protein as far as meat or dairy or anything like that. Okay, so let's go, yes?
What's the richest source of amino acids, direct amino acids?
Okay, amino acids, we have whey. Have you heard of whey? Okay, yeah. Whey protein is the quickest way. Then we have whey breaks down into casein when the amino acid breaks down easier. We have protein powder, we have egg white powder, they all have amino acids. And also if you go into the food category, all kind of meats, whether it's white meat.
I'm trying to avoid the digestion process. I thought you can get amino acids more directly with minimal digestion.
I thought eggs had all the proteins. Eggs had all.
Yes, egg is complete amino acid, and also red meats and white meats, those are all complete protein. But you want to know what is the quickest way for the digestion of amino acid?
You can take lots of supplemental enzymes to help digest it, but
Yeah.
I think there's certain foods that are rich in amino acids that don't need to go through the digestion step.
Okay, whey protein, it just digests in your body, and also amino acid, if you take it in a form of pills, it would digest right away. There's nothing that needs to be happening. Okay, so let me tell you something else. When we are talking about carbohydrates, why do we say stay away from carbohydrates? When we eat carbohydrates, any sort of carbohydrates have about 4 to 5.5 calories per gram. 1 grams of protein also have 4 to 4.5 grams of calories per gram. Now, if you're taking any fat or oil, fats and oils have 9 to 9.5 calories per gram. Here's the difference. When we eat carbohydrates or protein, as I mentioned before, they have to break down to a simpler form. So carbohydrate has to break down into amino acid. Protein has to break down into amino acid. This process itself would burn calories for digestion. But when we eating oil, not only it has twice the calorie, but also if my body doesn't need that extra calorie, it's going to turn it into fat and reserve it in our fat cell with no hassle. Nothing has to happen because the molecules of our body fat is the same as the fat that we're using as oil or as animal fat. Now, why do we say if you want to lose weight and keep it off, stay away from carbohydrates? Because basically, as we say, carbohydrates, when they break down, they turn into sugar, okay, or glucose. So they run through the blood start to run it through our body. If we are taking too much carbohydrate, the body would release huge amount of insulin. When the body releases too much insulin, now what's going to happen? My body is going to reserve the food in my fat cell instead of using it as fuel. Also, what happened, too much sugar in the blood is just going to give us a spark of energy, and it puts us down, and then we have to pick ourselves up, and then down, and then we go through this roller coaster throughout the day, okay? So the best and quickest way is to minimize your carbohydrates, especially starchy carbohydrate. And remember, guys, most of us eat too much. I mean, nowhere in the whole world you get as huge portion as we get in the US, right? I never seen that anywhere else. So remember that our stomach is the size of our wrist. Look at your wrist, see the size. This is how much you should be eating at each portion at a time, no more than this. But because we are so trained, you're laughing? Right, she's like, yeah, right, this much, okay. But here, no, let me tell you this, seriously. You see, our stomach this is the size of our stomach. But because we start to make our portion big and big, the sizes start to stretch and stretch. And as time goes by, because now we created more space in there, now we think we have to take more to fill up that space, right? Okay, but the good news is if you start to cutting back little by little from your portion, your stomach has the ability, it's a muscle. It would expand and it would become smaller. So your stomach would start to shrink again. But you have to remember that we really don't need to eat as much food as we're eating here, okay? So start to cut back little by little from your food. Eat 4 to 5 small meals. Just put this much, remember this, in your food, and walk away. Walk away, do an activity, make a phone call, do something. You will see if you walk away from your plate, after 5 to 10 minutes, you're not hungry anymore. The last thing, I know my time is over, hydrate, hydrate, hydrate yourself. Keep on drinking water. And the best thing to do, guys, if you can get yourself used to it, I know this is not, you guys are not used to it in US, but start to drink lukewarm water or sip on hot water throughout the day. That would help you with your digestion and it would cut your appetite. My time is over. I'm at booth 834 downstairs. Thank you so much for being here. Love you all. Thank you so much, guys. By the way, I have some nutrition DVD downstairs if anyone's interested.
Serve ice with water in restaurants because you suffer gallbladder.
I know.
I learned that from my Chinese doctor.
Doctor.